Hi Flosstube, this is Stephanie, the Ivy House Crafter. It is a very snowy, cold day. We've got a winter storm here in Utah and it's supposed to keep snowing until tomorrow morning. So it's Monday and it'll keep snowing until Tuesday morning. That's what the weather report said. It's really coming down and we're supposed to get 6 to 8 inches in our area. Some places in Utah are getting like over a foot. So lots of snow. Which is fun because we haven't really had a whole lot of snow this winter. We've had some, but it's nice to see that the winter is finally letting loose a little bit, having some fun. I keep glancing over this way because the window's right there so I can see the snow like flying down. You can't, but I can. Trust me, it's there. So yeah, welcome to my channel. I talk about my cross-stitching and other crafts and just what's going on in my life and share those things with you. I forgot last week, but today's dad joke of the day, it's a good one, guys. Why can't you have a nose that is 12 inches long? Because then it would be a foot. I love dad jokes, it's funny. Yesterday's was, what do you yell at a cheese thief? Hey, that's nacho cheese! Okay, so I have done some stitching this week, but not as much as usual. I have had a couple other things pop up that have got me all obsessed and not having as much time for stitching because I'm doing other super fun things. I've mentioned before in my Flosstube videos that I have been gaining weight and I want to reverse that and not gain weight anymore and kind of lose weight. I was talking to my mom on the phone the other day and sort of bemoaning the fact that it's been cold and I don't feel like going out and walking or jogging or, just being active outside. And she mentioned that she had gotten a hula hoop at the thrift store and found that to be a fun way to get some activity in when she couldn't go outside, and suggested that I look around for a hula hoop. Well, I'm a good girl and I do what my mommy tells me, so I got myself a big weighted hula hoop online and proceeded to not be good at hula hooping. And but yeah, I looked up some videos to sort of show or remind me, how do you do the hula hooping thing? And now I've gotten to where I can keep it going, I can get a good rhythm and stuff. But also, while I was digging around YouTube trying to find someone who could teach me how to hula hoop, I discovered hoop dancing. And it's really awesome. It's not anything that I can do with my big weighted exercise hoop. That one is strictly for keep it spinning and raising the heart rate and, exercise. It's a workout hoop. But you can get like dance hoops in a huge variety of sizes and colors and learn all sorts of tricks so that you can do like dances and flows and just like show off how awesome you are with this hula hoop. If you haven't ever heard of it, I suggest looking up on YouTube hula hoop flow and just see where that rabbit hole takes you, because there are some beautiful hoop dancers out there, and it like it's just really awesome. And so naturally I dove in with both feet, and there's also there's tutorials on how to make your own hula hoops for dancing and practicing and stuff. And so I have made myself a large hoop for hooping on body and a smaller hoop for hooping like on the hands and stuff. And I've been practicing and can do a small handful of tricks very ill indeed, but it's so much fun. And I'm bruising the heck out of myself, hitting myself in all areas of my body with these hoops that are made from, it's called PEX pipe. It's kind of like PVC pipe, but it's like, you know, in a circle. I have like, I don't know if you can see, it's fading now, but I've got this bruise on my hand from spinning the hoop on my hand, and I've got bruises all around my midsection and between my inner thighs from trying to do the wedgie move, which looks a lot cooler than it sounds. So yeah, I've been spending a lot of time with my hula hoops, which obviously is not conducive to stitching. I also got a jump rope, but that is something I can only do outside. If we had flat ceilings, I could probably do it inside, but we have popcorn ceilings, and the couple times I've tried to jump rope inside, I've scraped off some of the asbestos in the ceiling, and you know, that comes floating down, and I'm like, perhaps I should not do that inside. So my jump roping will strictly be an outside thing. And that wears me out a lot faster than the hula hooping, because it's jumping and it's a lot of work. But so yeah, I am all into hula hooping and jump roping and spinning things around my body in ways that look really, really awkward and feel even more awkward, but hopefully eventually someday will be beautiful. And maybe when I get a little bit better and a little bit more comfortable with my hoops, I'll film myself doing a couple very basic tricks and put that on my Flosstube video, but don't expect anything for quite a while because it's hard and I'm really not good at it yet. But yeah, that is so much fun. Okay, I'm going to jump on into my whips. Like I said, I did get some stitching done. The first one I worked on was Active Service by Purple Stitching. I worked on this a couple days early last week, and then it's been, well, I haven't worked on it since, but I got some good progress when I did work on it. Her face is coming along beautifully. So let me try to remember what all I did. I brought in this this dark brownish color that comes all the way around here, and then I did a lot of colors in her eyes and mouth and nose. So I would just pick a color that was in her eye and do all of the stitches of that color in her eyes and nose and mouth, and maybe a little bit down here if it was down there, and if I still had some floss left on my needle. So I mean, it's not a huge amount of progress, but it was a lot of stitching. It was a lot of colors, and her face is just really filling out and looking increasingly lovely. So that was the progress on Active Service. And again, that is Purple Stitching on Etsy. And she has a lot of beautiful, mostly full coverage pieces that she has created from works of art, and it's just beautiful. Okay. Then, because I would like to focus on some of my older whips and kind of getting things finished to make room for new projects, I got out and continued to work a little bit on While Lilies Flourish. I did not make a great deal of progress on this one, but I do like the progress that I did make. Let's see. So here it is in its entirety so far. Let's see. I brought this border all the way to the edge. If you look at it, there are sort of pine needle leaf things that are on about half of that border and not the other half. Those get a little bit tedious and boring to put in, but so I will be putting them in, you know, put in a strand here and there between working on other things. So the other progress that I made on this was I added a crown. Get my finger in the right place there. This crown and this pot of flowers. I didn't think I would enjoy stitching these flowers. They're kind of cattywampus, kind of jaggedy, not the nice and neat. Looks more like, you know, young girl was assigned, okay, now make up a pot of flowers. And she did her best, and it just kind of looked weird. But it was fun to stitch. I liked stitching this part. It was fun. So that was all the progress that I made on While Lilies Flourish. Finished off the vine portion of that border and stitched a crown and some flowers. Once again, the whole piece. This is being stitched on 18 count vintage country mocha. And the pattern is one that I designed and is available in my Etsy shop, linked below. Another older whip that I brought out to work on, Summertime Sampler. This is part of a seasonal samplers series that again is available on my Etsy shop. This one, so when I first worked on, well, not first worked on this, but a while back, I had put in these two sunflowers, just the yellows and browns of these sunflowers. And when I got it out to work on, I did the birdhouse, and then I went to put in the vines and was kind of counting over, and no, it was before the vines. It was when I put the pole in, I noticed that it didn't line up the way it should with the border. And so I first checked its positioning with the flower here, and everything looked fine, but eventually through some digging, and it was really hard because, I don't know why it was hard, but I realized that somehow I had made some sort of mistake in this flower, and it's not shaped exactly correctly, and that mistake caused this entire birdhouse, complete with the pole and all like 9 colors in the whole thing, to be one stitch too far to the right. If you follow me on Instagram, I posted a picture of this, and actually I'm going to read what I posted because I think it was rather clever. I just have to get to it. In today's episode of Fudge or Frog, a small mistake on the sunflower on the left has caused this entire birdhouse to be one stitch too far to the right. The stitcher has chosen to fudge rather than frog, and will make small adjustments to the grass at the bottom of the pattern to fix the problem. So, yes, I had to play that game of fudge it or frog it, and I decided to fudge it. Because, I mean, look at that. Obviously, it would be super easy to fudge that and make it so that everything eventually lines up properly along the bottom. And so that's what I did. And here is the progress that I made. The offending flower, its counterpart that wants nothing to do with it and is looking away in shame. The poor misused birdhouse and vines, and so since it was too far this way, I basically just removed one of the little stitched columns of grass on this side, and then I put in a few extra stitches between 2 rows on this side to make it all line up. And it all worked. And I think it's really cute. And I'm pretty close to being complete on this one. Close being, I suppose, a relative term. I just have to do a bird and a butterfly and the alphabet and a whole bunch of randomly placed little flower floaties. These little floating flower things. And it'll be done. So that was the stitching that I completed this week. So there was one other thing that I was way into this week, besides the jump roping and hula hooping, that kept a little bit of time away from stitching, and that was knitting. I got this ball of yarn a while back and really wanted to make it into a scarf. This is Lion Brand Mandala Baby. The colorway is Echo Caves. Isn't that a pretty name? Anyway, it started with a dark blue, and then it moves on to light blue and white and green, and then a greenish blue. I guess bluish green and then greenish blue. Anyway, and I just really wanted to make this into a scarf. So I did, or a shawl. I guess it's kind of going to end up as a combination of the two. So I found a pattern or tutorial on YouTube for something called the dragon tail shawl. And similar shawls go by the name of like vortex or crescent. It's where it kind of spirals around, and you make it by increasing on one side and kind of stair-step binding off on the other. So, but yeah, it ends up looking like a dragon tail. It's really awesome. Here is the end of it that I started with, and it gets bigger. And I'll do it this way. Bigger, bigger, just a little bit at a time, bigger, and now it's starting to get to the light blue, and this is where I'm at. It's really hard to show the whole thing all at once because it's long and skinny, but I think it's just so pretty, and it's eventually, you know, it's going to be really, really nice to wear. It's got just beautiful drape to it, just kind of, yeah, and I love these colors. So this is the progress that I've made on this in, you know, under a week, because I started probably Tuesday or Wednesday, I don't remember. Anyway, so right now it looks more like a scarf that's really skinny on one end and then just kind of scarf sized on the other. I think I want to just use the entire ball of yarn, and so it'll be really long, probably wrap around like 5 or 6 times when it's finally done, but yeah, it's going to be really pretty. And I will link the video below where I learned how to do that shawl. And yeah. Let me remind myself where I am at in my notes. Okay, I had a few purchases. I went on 1, 2, 3 Stitch. I've been collecting here and there bits of 36 count linen for my Cottage Garden Samplings Songbirds Garden series, and any that I don't end up using for that, I have learned through that series. I mean, just through stitching on the Forever and Ever, which is the first one, and all I've done on that is a flower and some leaves, but I've learned that I love 1/1 on 36 count. It is beautiful, and it makes me happy. So even if some of these I don't end up using on the Songbirds Garden series, I'll find a use for them, because cross-stitch fabric, why not? So I got 36 count Legacy Edinburgh linen. Picture this plus. This one has some lovely modeling. .36 count Wren Edinburgh linen. Picture this plus. .36 count Flax Edinburgh linen. This one, it doesn't say what it's from, it just says 1, 2, 3. I don't know. But this one's really pretty. It's not mottled, but it does have a little bit of like color variegation just from the natural, or just from the nature of the flax, of the linen. And then this one is fun, different from those three. This is 36 count Dolphin linen from Wakes Dye Works. A nice dark green, sort of a bluish, greenish color. Really pretty. I also got a pretty large piece of 28 count Joblin, and the color is Water Lily. Here it is. It's going to be stitched in this direction, because I was watching Julie, Kansas City Girl in a Colorado World, a little while back, and she mentioned the Works of Jane Austen Sal, which intrigued me greatly because I love Jane Austen. So I purchased the pattern. It's a mystery sal, so I have the border and the first part of the pattern. This is what it looks like. And yeah, I'm gonna duck around to make sure that that's showing up. There we go. I don't know what I'm stepping on down there. So let me just read a little bit of the description on this. Every 6 weeks, we'll recall one of Austen's iconic stories in a block measuring 180 by 34 stitches. We're going to stitch the actual shades of Pemberley, Fanny Price's horse, Captain Wentworth's ship, those strawberries Mrs. Elton wouldn't shut up about, that weird ring Edward Ferrars wore, and much, much more. Each of the 6 blocks includes the title of one of Jane Austen's published works and its date of publication. So it started with Sense and Sensibility, and it's got the Barton Cottage and the rain clouds that cause Marianne's misfortune, and like the description said, the ring that Edward Ferrars wore and his handkerchief with the lovely embroidered F on it. and Marianne's piano for her angst, and because that is how she demonstrates her misery, is by playing the piano. And the lock of hair that Willoughby took from Marianne, and the scissors with which he cut it. And anyway, so all the fun stuff from Sense and Sensibility. And I'm looking forward to, now that I have shown that, to starting it and seeing what all the other blocks look like. And yeah, I am really into Jane Austen. I've read all of her books, watched movies for as many of them as I could find, many versions of the movies, and yeah, just big fan. So I'm really excited about that project. Let's see. I think that was all that I had to show you. Yeah. Next week, I would like to sort of put together a, not quite a whip parade, more like a list of the projects that I would like to finish this year. I'm not doing anything official like Stitch 9 or Year of Whips or anything like that. Just some projects that I've been working on for a while and would like to see finished this year. Now, since I only started cross-stitching a little over a year ago, pretty much just about a year ago, I started January of last year. My oldest whips are not as old as many other people's oldest whips. You know, I know that there are Flosstubers who have whips that they've had in their whip pile for years. I don't. And so, but for, like for me, I want to sort of finish up some of those slightly older whips and make room for newer ones that I'm excited about now. So I'll have a list and show all the whips that I would like to be able to finish this year. I will also kind of show some of the projects that I would like to start this year. Again, I'm not making any definite plans or anything, although Stitch Mania is coming up in May. So I probably won't do the full Mania, but I haven't decided exactly what I'm going to do for Mania yet. So I'll show just some projects that I have been holding off on and not starting yet, but really want to start. Also, by next week I will have finished sewing all of the project bags that I'm currently working on. So in my video next week I will show all of those, and you know, you will be able to, if you would like any of them, email me and let me know and we can work something out. So keep an eye out next week for new project bags to buy. That is all that I have. My cat has been very uncooperative as far as Flosstube cats go. She's been sitting on the bed in front of me for this entire video, and not once did she jump up on my lap and appear on camera, so I'm very disappointed in her. That's okay. She doesn't usually show up in my videos. But yeah. Until next week, have a great week. Stay warm if it's cold where you are. Stay cool if it's hot where you are. Do as much stitching as you can, as you like. Get out of your comfort zone and try something fun and new. Maybe hoop dancing. And yeah, just be you and have a good time with it. Happy stitching, everybody. Bye.